The KATO, it's gone, discontinued, banished to the Shadow Realm in favor of the new Kadenz. Also a single dynamic driver IEM coming in at $189.99, same price as the KATO, but is it as good as the KATO? Let's find out. Hey friends, welcome back to another review. Today we have the Moondrop Kadenz. And before we jump into the sound quality, let's touch on the non-sound aspect, shall we? The build and the accessories. And build-wise, it is very sturdy, premium feeling metal build from shell to nozzle, and they also did away with the reflective coating of the KATO, which is thank God, because my KATO now looks very ugly. The nozzle also comes in 3 different lengths for comfort adjustment. They don't do anything to change the frequency response. Other accessories include a very high quality cable, which is actually the same one you get with the KATO, 6 sets of ear tips, 3 of the Moondrop stock silicone tips, and 3 of the Moondrop spring, and a couple of dongles. The first one is a 4.4 to USB-C that you can actually use to connect the Kadenz to the phone and the Moondrop Link app. And the second dongle is a 4.4 to 3.5 mm adapter. And for those of you who are paying attention, yes, the KATO's cable only comes in 4.4. Speaking of the Moondrop Link app, with the Kadenz, you can use the app to apply different preset EQs or apply your own custom EQ. And once the EQ is applied, it actually stays on the dongle until you change it to a different EQ. What this means is that you can actually switch devices. Granted, it's a USB-C device and you're using the dongle, and you'll still hear the EQ that you applied, even on devices that doesn't have a Moondrop Link app. And another thing you can do that I think is really cool is that you can actually save your custom EQ profile by uploading it to the Moondrop system. Doing this will save the custom EQ, but also make it publicly available for other users to download. Keep in mind, you will need to register for a Moondrop account to access this feature. Now, we can't really talk about the Moondrop app without talking about some of the jankiness that comes with using it. And the biggest of the jankiness with the Kadenz is when you're trying to connect the Kadenz to the app itself. Sometimes the app would not recognize the Kadenz right away. If this happens, you have to press the plus symbol, go to USB devices, and look for a device that's called Echo B. And Echo B is actually your Kadenz. However, on occasions, the app might not recognize at all that you have any device plugged in. If this happens, just close the app, unplug the Kadenz, replug it, reopen the app, and hope and pray that it works. You might have to hope and pray about 2 to 3 times sometimes. And there are other smaller janky moments when using the app, but I feel like you'll get used to them and find your way around them pretty quickly, so I won't mention them all over here. But the point I'm trying to make is, all of that put together, it makes the app feel not as premium or as user-friendly as it should be. Now, app aside, let's finally talk about the sound quality, starting with the tuning. The Kadenz is a vocal forward IEM. There's quite a bit of energy in the upper mid-range alongside some warmth to give it some weight, some thump, and preventing it from becoming thin. The treble is smooth and inoffensive, and this helps a lot with making vocal timbre sound more pleasing and natural, and it overall makes the Kadenz a fatigue-free kind of listen. Unless you're allergic to upper mid-range and shout, but we'll talk more about that later. Another good quality about the Kadenz is the bass. It's dynamic, it's well controlled, it's well defined. You don't get a lot of bass, so bass head might feel like the bass is too little, but quality-wise, it has that. Now, the mid-range is another standout point for the Kadenz, both in a good way and in a bad way, depending on who you are. Now, it's good for vocal lovers because the Kadenz offer an extra sense of clarity and extra sense of contrast. You really hear the vocals kind of plucked out from the rest of the mix. Now, it's bad for those of you who are sensitive to upper mid-range. The Kadenz has quite a lot, and for me personally, it's at the borderline of what I can listen to without feeling fatigue. And another not so good quality about the Kadenz would be its overall just okay technical performance for the price. In this case, I actually think the KATO, its predecessor, sounds a bit more technical, more incisive, and showcases a bit more micro nuances than what the Kadenz can do. And speaking of the KATO, besides the technical performance, I also feel that its tuning is more pleasing and easier to recommend than the Kadenz. And that's because the KATO is overall a more balanced out signature. It's still a touch upper mid-range forward, but all in all, you hear more of the bass, you hear more of the meat of the song, you hear more of the treble and the micro nuances, and overall it's a much more versatile sound as opposed to the Kadenz more shoehorned, vocal lover only kind of signature. So overall, at worst, the Kadenz is a downgraded KATO, and at best, a side grade to the KATO. So sadly, we're not getting the generational improvement that we did with the KATO and KXXS situation. But hold up, Timmy, you forgot to talk about the preset EQs. Do those help make the Kadenz sound more godly? Actually, quite the opposite. Muddy, big muddy, shouty, thin, and bright. They're all really bad. They really messed up the preset EQs. I wish they kept the dust philosophy of giving us something that both sounds nice and also educational at the same time, that teaches us about the different targets that are out there on the market, you know, like Harman, JM1, diffuse field. So in summary, who should buy the Kadenz? Now, there's only really two reasons to buy the Kadenz that I can think of. Reason number one, you want a really well executed and very well built vocal forward IEM. And reason number two, you like the convenience of USB-C, and you also like the ability to be able to custom EQ right on your phone. And on that note of custom EQ, I would say that the Kadenz is a very good template because it already has very smooth and good sounding treble. And if you don't know why that's important, it's because treble is by far the hardest area to EQ and get right. So it's good that your template IEM already has good treble out of the box. But other than those two reasons, I can't really recommend the Kadenz to anybody else, especially when you factor in value, because Moondrop's own Aria 2 is also a very well-tuned IEM, all metal build as well, at half the price. And when we're comparing sound quality between the two, I feel like the Aria 2 is almost just as good as the Kadenz, though the tuning is a bit different. The Aria 2 is a bit more warm tilted, but quality wise, it's pretty comparable at, again, half the price. That being said though, I'll say this one thing: if Moondrop can make the Moondrop app experience more premium and more user-friendly, and also fix the preset EQ that they have on the app, then maybe I can recommend the Kadenz to more people. So please, Moondrop, please. But hey, that's just my thought on the Moondrop Kadenz. If you've tried this before, let me know down in the comment section below what you think, and don't forget to subscribe for more IEM shenanigans in the future. Peace out. Bye.